What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 113 of Snakes and a Fat Man. I'm Chris Eaton. This episode is brought to you by Redline Shipping. Now, speaking of Redline Shipping, listen, I got my little F bag from fucking Redline. Love it already, okay? Being in a wheelchair, you can't really be having pockets full of wallets and keys and just everything else. So check it out. I got the two Snakes and a Fat Man patches, which will be available on the Snakes and a Fat Man new website called Fatman Nation. That's going to be released in probably about a month or two, but either way, I'll let you guys know. Anyway, these patches will be available there. I got my boy Large Marge Morphs, last year's winner of 15 Minutes of Lame. And let's see, Small Town Exotics. My boy Shane Kelly, winner of the first 15 Minutes of Lame ever. So then, of course, US Arc. Support US Arc. I believe one of these bags are going to be on auction at Tinley this weekend. So listen, if you need reptiles shipped, Redline Shipping's the way to go. Use the code Robin60 for 60% off your first two shipments. And then when you're done with that, use the code FATMAN5 for an additional $5 off any other shipments or reptiles that you're shipping out with Redline. Go check them out at redlineshipping.com. Anyway, show 113, okay? Fucking lucky number 13 after 100. I'm surprised we got this far. I appreciate it. This is going to be another one of those off-the-cuff, non-scripted episodes. And this is going to be the last episode ever that's pre-recorded because we are switching to a live format come April 1st, okay? No April Fool's joke. It's a real thing. We're just going live. I figure, it's an easy thing. There's less editing and everyone else is doing it, right? So why should I be the only schmuck that's spending 30 hours a month fucking putting together fucking this bullshit show? Anyway, April 1st, going to be live. Hopefully you will enjoy the first guest that we have on it. But on this episode, the last pre-recorded episode, we have Jeff Byers from Wilbanks Captive Bred Reptiles, and we have Danny Cadena on 15 Minutes of Lame from Chain Reaction. So look, guys, stick around. It's going to be fun. Here we go. All right, this episode is also brought to you by my boy JT Tomlinson, the owner, the veteran, Reptichip. Your animals are just going to be happier on Reptichip, all right? Go buy a brick, a bag, a bigger bag. Don't be a Repta bitch. Fucking spend $2 extra a fucking block on your fucking animals. Why are you putting a fucking $15,000 animal on fucking bulk rate fucking ghetto fucking coconut chip like all these other shitheads do? So fucking don't do it. Use Reptichip, the original. Go check them out at reptichip.com. All right, now I told my friend Bill Stiegel that I would push an event that he's appearing at. It's called the Reptile Talks. It's going to be at the Anaheim Hilton on May 17th and 19th. Go check it out at thereptiletalks.com. It all benefits US Arc. So I'm sorry I'm getting messages in between here. But, there's going to be a bunch of cool speakers. They're going to just talk about reptiles. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some vendors there. So It's going to be a pretty big thing. I wish I was in California for that. They said it's an all-inclusive event. Like, why do you have to include that? Isn't every reptile show an all-inclusive event? Anyway, go check it out at thereptiletalks.com. Oh shit, I almost forgot. Want to shout out Adam over at Proper Royals there. Um, we gave Adam a hard time when we were going up against him, but you know what? Fucking Adam is still doing it, and Bronx Down Under is defunct now. Okay, so I guess I could say Adam kicked our asses. Okay, and either way, Adam deserves respect. Adam's a good guy. I appreciate what he does. He kind of knocks out the business side end of things during his show, and he has a cool morning show as well. So go subscribe to him at Proper Royals on YouTube and on Instagram and all the other shit. I think his name is Adam Shira on Facebook. I don't remember his last name, but Adam's always been a good guy, always been cool to me, always been nice to me. He's definitely a gentleman. So go check him out. Go buy yourself one of these shirts, these Proper Royal shirts. Full disclosure, Adam just sent me and my girlfriend shirts. So fucking thank you, Adam. I appreciate it, brother. Okay, now I just touched on this at the beginning intro of the episode, but everything's going to be live from now on. I mean, I'm going to have some pre-recorded videos that I just do, videos around here, videos about me in rehab, like actual produced, like Cusco says, cinematic masterpieces. But for these interview shows, I'm just gonna do it live, easy. Fucking slap it to audio at the end of the show, and it's up, and I don't have to do any editing or anything like that. So everybody else is being lazy, so why the fuck shouldn't I, right? I don't know if you could tell, but I'm kind of down on the hobby this week. Okay, had a couple of things happen to me that kind of irritated the piss out of me, and we'll get into that later. But again, everybody, good luck and safe travels to Tinley. Definitely pick up patches. I will not have any patches there, but make sure you go to people like my boy Shane Kelly, people like my boy Robin at Redline, and get their patches. They'll be available at their table. So just wanted to touch on that. Another thing I want to touch on is fucking, I saw a couple of people this week touting their fucking subscriber count on YouTube. Okay. One of them had almost 20,000, and they were making a big deal out of them having 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. However, okay, the amount of views that this person has is 300 to 400, maybe 500 views per episode of the show that they put on. So if you have 20,000 subscribers and you're only getting 3 to 4 to 500 views per episode, as my friend Brian says, listen, the math ain't mathin', okay? So you can't be touting that you have 20,000 subscribers and see no visible jump in your numbers count, okay? 3 to 4 to 500 views at best every episode. I checked, okay? So, be aware of people with fucking fake subscriber counts. Now, I'm not saying that this guy bought his subscribers. Maybe he hit the algorithm and he automatically jumped to 20,000, subscribers. But I do know that he jumped from 5 to 10,000 subscribers overnight. Took him about a month to get to 15,000 subscribers. And then just recently he hit about 20, and still the same amount of views on their channel. I'm telling people this because when they go after sponsors, the subscriber count almost doesn't matter. Okay, look at the views. Look at the fucking views, people. Don't waste your money. Yeah, don't spend $1,000 to $1,500 sponsoring a show that gets 300 subscribers or 300 views per episode. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Again, I'm being a little pissy this week because a couple people fucked me over. Okay, a couple people fucked me over, and I don't like it. Okay, and I'm just slightly aggravated with the hobby as a whole. Not anybody here. Anybody here that's watching this is fucking awesome, and I love you guys. So I just think that you got to be able to call out the bullshit, even if you love this hobby. You have to see the bullshit in it, because I do. I love this fucking hobby. I love the fucking animals. Fucking, I don't have 30 to 1,000 of them right now, like some other people do, but I do love the animals, and I actually love the good people in the community. But there's so much shit in the community as well that you have to deal with, and I don't know. This episode, I just felt like bringing up the shit. And look, everybody knows I'm not one of those fucking Joe positive fucking people, but yeah, at the same time, for all you positive people in the community, you have to realize that there's a ton of shit in it as well. So that's really it, and that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, I'm going to Forrest Gump it and put it on the side. Actually, that's not true. In the second rant, I'm going to be talking some shit too. Anyway, all right, let's move on. All right, if you need a snake shed tested, there's really only one guy to go to, as far as I'm concerned, and that is Charlie over at Gray Rider Reptiles. Okay, Charlie's disrupting everything. He basically looked at this company that had hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in it and said, you know what? I think I can handle that from my garage. So that's what I'm going to do. And Charlie went, learned how to fucking do it, and is doing all this shit from his house. Okay. Disrupting shit. That's my guy, Charlie, right there. He has tests that are just as accurate as the big guy right now. But Charlie gets these shed tests back to you in like a quarter of the time. Okay, which is funny because when I did interview the bigger guy doing this, he was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna have any problem scaling. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. Everything's gonna be fine." Boom. 3 months waiting for a fucking shed test. Okay, fuck that. Charlie gets it to you in like 2 weeks. Anyway, Charlie has available genetic shed tests for Desert Ghost and VPI Exanthic. Those are new. Clown, Cryptic, Asphalt, Candy, Gravel, Hurricane, Hypo, Lavender Albino, anything in the Bell complex, Piebald, Ultramel, A and B. I didn't even know that there was an A and B with Ultramel. Some kind of Desert Ghost bullshit ABC thing now. And Yellow Belly. Listen, fucking get 10% off if you mention fucking Fatman. Okay, Snakes and the Fatman gets you 10% off. Charlie's already awesome pricing, so go visit him at shedtesting.com. All right, you know who this episode is also brought to you by? Chimera. All right, know what you don't know, and know that you know what you don't know. Okay, I mean that's just the whole thing. You can't be having a fucking auto parts checkout clerk fucking spend $40,000 of his retirement and his savings into the ball python thing and think that you know what you're going to be doing. You're just not. Okay, Chimera will teach you. Okay, Chimera will show you how to market, how to sell, how to run your social media. I mean, Patrick and Andre are killing it right now by actually showing people how to do things the right way, because ball python sales, look, they suck for a lot of people, but Chimera is one of the people that it doesn't suck for. So they're willing to teach you how to make it not suck for you. Go check them out at chimerareptile.com. All right, so what I'd like to do is I would like to talk about hypocrites in the hobby. Okay, just recently I had somebody do what they said they would never do again, and they just had no problem problem doing it. I mean, that they basically said to me, "I'll never do it again." They said to my Zoom call, "I'll never do it again," and literally did it again. Okay, uh, fucking hypocrites and bullshit artists in this fucking business run rampant, and I'm not talking about, I'm talking hypocrites at my level. Okay, now when I say my level, I mean that everybody's a hypocrite, a bullshit artist on your level, right? But I'm like a fairly well known established guy. I like to think that I'm a better judge of character. Okay, But anyway, this happened, and this person just went and did what he said he would never fucking do again, and I was aggravated. All right, I was aggravated. It was kind of like a I don't want to say a stab in the back, but it was hurtful. The fat man was hurtful because he considered this person a friend, right? I mean, he still does. I mean, I'm still the guy's friend. I'm not going to let one thing, take it away from me. But it's pretty aggravating to have somebody just slap you in the face with something that you would bet money on them that they would never do again because they said they would never do it again. The only two people that haven't been hypocrites, even at the level I'm at. Okay. And I'm listen, I'm not saying I'm at a high level. Okay. I'm saying that I'm probably more popular than the guy that has 200 or 300 views per episode. I'm probably more popular than if you're a no name, no social media fucking guy just doing your shit and thinking that you're going to sell $1,000 snakes all day. At my level, there's I hate saying at my level because it just makes me just makes me feel like a cocky bitch. But the only two people really, as I look over it through the years, maybe there's three people who haven't fucked me is Brian Rivera from Samson Snakeatorium, What's in Your Cup Show, and Donato. Okay. And I don't know if this is because we all grew up the same way. I don't know if it's all because we're all from the same part of New York and we have that connection. But those are two solid guys. Donato and Brian, they're just solid dudes. If they tell you they'll never do something again, they will never do it. If they tell you that they're gonna do it again, they will absolutely do it. And I encourage everybody to check out anything that Donato does in the future, and Brian's What's in Your Cup, even though it's at 7 in the fucking morning on a Wednesday. But like you said, successful people are up by 4. So fucking it's definitely a hard show to get up and watch, especially for you West Coast people. But I definitely recommend it because Brian talks about all the good, the bad, and the ugly every week too. So so I just really want to say cheers to the two dudes that fucking haven't fucked me. And I've known Donato for 43 years. Okay, Donato's always been a great friend. Fucking, I've known Brian for about 3 years now, and he's just he's a Puerto Rican Donato. All right, that's all I have to say. He's a Puerto Rican Donato. I mean, he's a 4'9", 372-pound Puerto Rican Donato. But what I'm saying is just watch out, guys. And basically, you got to go by the old Stone Cold saying, DTA, man, don't trust anybody. It's like everybody will switch on you. Not everybody, but what I'm saying, most people will switch on you in a fucking heartbeat. If it means something for them. Okay. And I trust Brian, I trust Donato where they won't simply fuck me for just something stupid. Okay. I mean, just like a dumb reason. So anyway, I know I'm being a little cryptic about this because fucking I still like the dude that fucked me. Okay. And in his head, I'm sure he's saying like, oh, I didn't fuck you, but you did, pal. All right. And I still like the guy, and I'm still going to remain friends with him. But I just want to warn everybody: hypocrites at every level, even at this major top level that I'm on. No, I'm not on the top level. I am so lower mid level at best. But anyway, just watch out, guys. That's all I'm saying. All right, Clutch, fucking Clutch, man. Best ball python management software out there. All cloud-based, all basically cutting-edge management software for all your ball pythons. The only thing I would recommend is start using Clutch when you have 10 snakes, because when you have 200 snakes, you're just not going to do the input work for it. So, but start at 10. Make inventorying your animals just a natural step in the process so that you do it every time and you'll be fine. But Clutch really is the best ball python management software out there. Go check them out at cltch.io.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Fatman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
What's up, guys? It's Justin at Canova. For the past 5 years, 15 Minutes of Lame has become a launch pad for so many new successful breeders and a badge of honor in this industry. It's been so amazing to watch the passion and dedication you guys have and to watch your businesses grow. Just remember, the next me might be you.
15 Minutes of Lame!
What's up, everybody? Look who I got here. Mr. Danny Cadena. All right. Oh, Chain Reaction Exotics. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
Again, I met you, 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
Yeah, 3 years.
Right before COVID, right?
That was the one right after.
Oh, the one right after COVID. That's right.
Right
Right. Because I remember having to wear a fucking hazmat suit in New York when I got on the plane. And when I got down to Texas, it was like nothing ever happened. I went back to 1988.
Yeah.
You know, it was fucking
No fucking.
nobody was wearing a mask. Nobody was wearing anything. And I was like, all right, fuck it. You know. So I fully expected to come home from that trip with COVID, just so you know. But I didn't. So shots work, people, you know. So all right, cool. So you know how this works. You're ex-military, right?
Yeah, retired in summer, July of 2019.
And what branch were you in?
Army.
Thank you, man. And what did you do for the Army?
Logistics. So I ran all the warehouses and everything. Yeah, I did 9 years enlisted, and then in my last 11 years, I was a warrant officer. So I was managing all the logistics, running the warehouses on, different installations in Afghanistan and Iraq and all those fun places.
Fucking nice, man. Well, that's gonna mean something during this interview, okay? Cool. So fucking my way of giving back to the guys that fucking served. All right, we're gonna put 15 minutes on the clock and we're gonna start that now. All right, number one, right off the bat, how long you been doing this?
We started buying about the September 2018. So the end of 2018 is when we got our first ball python from Bred Reptiles on Morph Market. And because right before when I was going to retire, Anna was like, hey, well, we're not moving anywhere, so let's get a fucking ball python. I'm like, okay.
Right.
We got that one 2018, and then we went to NERBC that fall and got a rack from Brace Exotics and a few more snakes and came back, and it just kind of spiraled from there. So we took, 2018? It wasn't until 2020 we did one clutch, just a test one to, see how it goes. And those all sold real quick. So we were like, well, hey, man, we can do this as a hobby and just have some fun doing it. So it just kind of started there and just took off.
So you started in 2020 then?
Yeah.
As far as the business goes, right?
Yeah.
And did you have an LLC? Did you register the business, or is it now mainly just a hobby for now?
No, we got an LLC because for veterans in Texas, it's free. So we were like, fucking 2022, we went ahead and got it.
Right. Fucking cool. Okay, good deal. Because that's what I always say to people. If you treat this like a hobby, it'll pay off like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, it'll pay off like a fucking business.
Oh, yeah.
Now, where the name come from?
So our last name means chain in English. So when we were thinking of a name, and I was like, hey, Chain Reaction. And I was like, oh, that sounds fucking cool. And we was going to be Chain Reaction Morse. And she was like, oh, let's do Chain Reaction Exotics. So, we want to branch out into other stuff besides ball pythons, which we plan on doing. Then it leaves the name open. It kind of stuck. It's a pretty fucking cool name.
Yeah, fucking cool name. I'll give you a 7 on the name. I think that's a pretty high score. And you started it with your wife.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's both of us doing it. If it was just me doing it by myself, it wouldn't work.
Right. Just because of the amount of work involved, or?
Both, yeah, because then I'd be in here all the time, and she'd be in the house doing whatever, and it was just, we come out here, we do the stuff together. Like last night, we were in the rat room cleaning tubs and everything for a couple hours, hanging out, watching, put on YouTube in the background and just get busy, and then we'll come in, feed some snakes, and then, we're always out here together most of the time.
I'm gonna ask you what everybody's gonna want to know. You ever have sex in the snake room?
No.
Just this voice from the outside. No. Well, you should. Right. You should. I mean, I wouldn't recommend sex in the rat room, but you should definitely have sex in the snake room. Okay.
No, there's tarantulas in here too.
Oh no. Look, live a little. Tell your wife she got to live a little. Okay. Now, what are your big things going on for this year as far as project wise and money wise?
Project wise, just focusing on the Trojan project, because I love that gene. So we got 3 girls we hatched out about 2.5 years ago, some really nice orange dream energy Trojans. So I got some plans for those, and making some triple hets with some Exantic Desert Ghost hypo stuff, some other clown stuff. And I'm trying to get my other Motley Clown girl to go. She's reabsorbed on us the last 3 fucking years in a row. So hopefully she goes there. She's slamming food and building real nice right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's actually nice to hear. Like Motley and Trojan aren't really genes you hear of, every day. So that's actually admirable that you're doing shit that fucking not every other fucking person is doing.
No,
like those clowns and fucking, it's just ridiculous.
No, I do the stuff. We do the stuff that, the genes that we like to work with, what we think looks cool. And at the end of the day, that's all that fucking matters, really. If you produce something and you're like, this is a badass, looking snake, then that's
well. And what are Trojans going for these days?
Not that much. I mean, you can get a decent Trojan for $400 or $500, and Trojan clowns are probably about $1,000.
Okay.
In my honest opinion, it's a very underrated gene right now. There's some people working at it doing some cool stuff, but right away people are throwing it into clown and recessive stuff, and I was like, well, the Super Trojan looks almost like a Monarch, and it's an enhancer gene, so it looks better as it gets older. So I was like, well, it's a codom, so I'm going to throw it with some other stuff and put some brightening genes in there. And, it gets better as it ages. So those Odienchi Trojan girls look better than they did as a hatchling.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a decent price point, right? Because I think that's what's going to sell over the next year is the $1,000 to $2,000 animals. The average guy or the average small breeder isn't selling $5,000 animals at every show, or every day, What do you think's been going on, or what do you think of what's been going on with Morph Market? Do you feel like that's taken a bit of a downturn and the shows are becoming more important, or do you think Morph Market is still just as important as ever?
I think it's still just as important. I don't think it's changed at all. I mean, Darian's doing some good stuff with it. We still have our Morph Market account, and we'll do sales on there. I'm shipping one out on Wednesday that we just sold on Morph Market last, a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And it's still the same.
Have the shows been going better than Morph Market for you, or do you still prefer Morph Market over the shows?
Oh, I prefer the shows over Morph Market. I mean, we'll move some, but we move more at the shows.
Right. And you do mainly the more local shows, or have you been vended nationals?
No, just local, because there's plenty of herp shows. We got Longview's about 4 hours from here. Then the Herps Waco, we do that one. That's about an hour, some change from here. The one in Austin's about an hour from here. There's a herp show out in Bryan. That's about an hour and 45, almost about 2 hour drive.
Right.
Dallas is 2.5 hours. So there's a lot of local ones.
Yeah, and it's almost like why bother with the giant ones, especially when you're in Texas. But why drive 17 hours to a show that's going to have 90% ball pythons at every table?
Yeah, exactly. We almost did the St. Louis one this year, but then we were like, you know what? We're going to drive 12 hours to go up there, and what? You might sell something to pay for the fucking fuel, the hotel, the casino.
Right.
We turn into a fun trip. So now we ended up not going to that one.
Yeah, whenever there's a casino local to the fucking show, I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's just one of my things. Nice
Yeah,
little
probably go up there again, but if we go up there to like 10, we'll just go up there just to hang out.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to Tinley in March, or at least that's the plan right now. I just booked the hotel yesterday. Now, all right, let's talk some sponsors here. Now, you being in Texas, you have to use Reptichip, right?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, got a big wall of Reptichip behind.
Fucking JT is not going to give you a fuck you. Okay, that's the bottom line. Okay. Now, you've been to herp shows, obviously.
Yep.
Sean and Lori are not going to give you a fuck you. Now, do you have any sea serpents racks in your house?
Yeah, the ones that you can see behind you are sea serpents.
Fucking, that's what I want to hear, man. Chris Nettles does not give you a fuck you. Now, have you ever had snake shed testing done?
Yes.
Have you gone to Charlie, a gray rider?
No, the next one is though, because I was watching the last couple shows, so I've got one a Trojan has it's yellow belly or gravel, so he's getting the next shed.
Well, until you do, Charlie would ordinarily give you a fuck you, but you're a veteran, so Charlie's gonna rescind the fuck you and give you a thumbs up. Okay. Now, do you use Red Line shipping?
No, ship your reptiles.
Oh, ordinarily Robin would give you a fuck you, but you're a veteran, right? So he's not giving you a fuck you. Right? He's giving you a fucking big old thumbs up. Have you ever used Liberty Financial Services?
No.
They're a cool new company that actually does a lot of COVID relief stuff. So if you have 1099 employees or you lost a bunch of money with COVID because they had to close down, they could get you a bunch of money back. But Kevin does not give you a fuck you because you're a veteran, and he is appreciative of you being a veteran. Now, did you do your logo with Blake Stewart from Stewart Design?
No.
Blake would give you a fuck you too, but he's not going to because Blake is also a veteran. So fucking Blake is not going to give you a fuck you. He's going to give you a thumbs up. Now, have you ever used Chimera for anything, whether it's to buy a snake or to get advice or anything like that?
No.
God damn it. All right. God damn it, Danny. All right. Chimera would give you a fuck you, but again, you're a veteran, so he's not going to do it. Okay. So he's not giving you a fuck you. You get a thumbs up from Chimera too. Now, have you ever bought a snake from Justin?
Yes.
All right. Justin automatically does not give you a fuck you. But do you use Clutch?
No.
God damn it, Danny. All right. Clutch would fucking ordinarily give you a fuck you and take that thumbs up back. But since you're a veteran, he's not giving you a fuck you. Now, have you ever bought anything from Reptile Deli?
No.
God damn it, Danny. Have you ever watched the show before? All right.
Yeah.
You could at least lie on a couple of these. All right. Fucking. All right. Brian would ordinarily give you a fuck you, but he's not because he's a veteran. All right. So now, what's the 5-year plan for Chain Reaction?
Keep working on the projects that we want to work on. We're not going to get any bigger than this. Probably maybe one more ARS rack, and that's it. We want to keep it between the 50 and 70 range right there, because for us that's manageable. Because I still work.
Right.
And it's
it's we're not trying just to pump out a bunch of stuff just we're just gonna breed the stuff just to breed, just to have a bunch of babies lying around. We're just quality stuff that we want to work with, stuff that we can take to shows, stuff that it's going to look good when it's an adult, because everything looks good when it's a hatchling, but I want to make stuff that's going to look good when it's an adult.
Yeah, years later. I mean, that's the goal, right? Isn't that that's the real fucking grail for people, is to make it look as good as an adult when since compared to when it was a hatchling. So that's usually the goal.
Great as a fucking hatchling, but then it looks like shit as an adult.
Yeah. That are there any genes that you're absolutely against and you won't have in the collection?
No.
No, you're not a hater. You don't hate on Sunset or anything like that.
No.
Okay. And
I don't have it. I don't hate on it. Would I buy it? Probably not. But
That's what I'm saying. Looks like a piece of shit when it ggets 2 years old. All right. So
I sunsets, they brown out now, but
right, yeah. Well, that's what everybody's trying now is to do everything to keep it bright, you know.
yeah,
Um,
sunsets look fucking amazing, but a regular one, just as an adult, not a fan of.
right. Well, since 2020, how much money have you dumped into this hobby?
Oh, since 2020? Probably about 25, 28 grand since 2020. And we did a $9,000 room upgrade where the rodents are at, the small garage. We had to come in and insulate everything and put in a mini split. So that's probably the biggest thing we've done. So yeah, since 2020 to now, probably about 28.
Okay. So roughly we'll call it 30 grand. Now, in the 3 years of, starting on the fourth year, how much have you made back?
For that, probably 18, somewhere around there. I'd say close to
No
about,
shit.
yeah, 15
Yeah.
to 18 grand. So we've made more than half of it back.
Yeah, if you spent 28 grand and got fucking 18 back, you're fucking crushing it right now. Okay. Fucking there's some people out there who would look at you and be like, God damn it, fucking I haven't done even fucking 2 grand back yet. So that's actually that's actually a decent return on investment. Now, what do you do for the day job?
So after I got out of the Army, they called me and was like, "Hey, you want a job as a Department of the Army civilian?" So I'm doing the same thing I was doing in the Army as a DA civilian.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Okay.
10 minutes from the house, and Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4, federal holidays off. So shit, I was like, "You want me to do what? No problem."
That's actually great. All right, so then you don't have aspirations to become Canova or fucking Wilbanks or any of those guys.
Nope. Not at all, man. And that's one thing that I think gets some people in trouble in this hobby, is people chasing what everybody else is doing or chasing this, or they see what, Justin and Bob and Josh and, some of those other guys are doing, like, oh my God, they're making all this money. I can do that too. And then they get into it and it's like, oh shit, after a year, like, wait a minute, now they see what they're putting in and they're not getting anything out. They get frustrated and then then you got to feed everything. And,
Yep.
It's a lot. And if you think you're going to come in and, now if you got 150, 200 grand to put up front right away, then yeah, you're going to go and do some good things. But if you're getting in and just starting off and trying to, and think that you're just going to, in a year, turn around and be like, woohoo, man, I got all this money flowing in. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
It doesn't matter. Your 15 minutes is over. However, we're going to let you go on a little bit because you're a fucking veteran and you fucking earned it, all right? You earned the right to fucking talk as much as you want in front of these fucking ball python fucking losers. Now, what do you think is the best and worst thing about the hobby right now?
The best thing I think about the hobby is the way this community comes together and the way it helps each other. Like when Chase had his brain tumor and everybody coming together with the auctions and the donations. And
yeah,
even with
I
was sending you those pictures, where they were selling top hats for $50 and they were flying, they didn't have enough to give out, and I can't remember how much that leg went for at the auction, but I think for me, that's one thing, is the best thing, is the way everybody comes together and supports each other and helps each other out. And then also on the flip side, the worst thing, you've got people out there that are the complete opposite, that just wouldn't help you or give you the time of day. There's not as many as them, but there's a lot of bickering and shit that goes on there. And it's like, come on, dude. At the end of the day, we're all fucking reptile nerds. We should be supporting each other. But I don't know. That's the nature of the beast, man. People are people. That's
the thing is, I think a lot more of the fucking the hobby is bad than is good. But I think about 80% of the hobby is shitheads. About 20% are really good. All right. But the 20% that are really good keeps you coming back because they're so good that it kind of makes up for the 80% shitheads,
No, 100%.
And you Texas people have always been fucking awesome to me. So I love all of you fucking guys.
Yeah. Next time you come down, we'll go get some In-N-Out and I'll try that and see what the fuck.
You haven't tried In-N-Out yet, dude?
No, man, I'm a Whataburger guy, dude.
Oh my God, Whataburger is the worst. Okay, how can you eat that shit?
It's a Texas staple, man. We grew up eating that stuff.
Oh my God, I fucking had some. You know what's good from them? That patty melt is good.
That's the that is the go-to.
The rest of it is trash. I was just like, fucking, I do not like this. Yeah, In-N-Out. I made the Uber driver drive me to In-N-Out before I went to the airport.
Yeah.
And then I invited the Uber driver to eat lunch with me at In-N-Out.
Aww.
And then he drove me to the airport for free. All right. So fucking.
That's so sweet.
I remember
I fucking love these Texas people, man.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I remember you talking about on that last one, Bronx Down Under show. We're talking about that.
Yeah, that's I mean, Texas people are so fucking nice. The problem with Texas is everybody's fucking sticky all the time. And not like a good sticky. You know, like fucking it's sticky, you know, like you know, when people from like your wife is sticky and come up and hug me, I'm like, this is awesome.
Me too.
Right. When people are like you are sticky and come up and hug me, I'm like, oh, this is a little uncomfortable. You know, like when I have sweat on me from another dude, I just worry about that. You know, I'm just like, that probably looks really bad for me, you know.
Yeah. Last thing you were down, it was hot as fuck.
Yeah, dude, it was so hot. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in Dallas also. So for the NARBC show. I would have loved to come to Conroe, but you know, it's just not possible right now.
Yeah,
so,
we're not got to that one either.
How far is Conroe from you guys?
About 4 hours.
Yeah, that's insane. It's like you got to fly. If you're going to go to Conroe, you fly. All right.
Yeah.
I know shows in New Hampshire, which is just about 6 hours away from us. We drove once and then we were like, fuck this, you know, and then we flew in every time and just shipped as fucking snakes.
Yeah.
So
a few shows about 4 hours from here, but we got one of Anna's best friend lives out there. Her parents live out there. So, you know, knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, do the show and then go visit with them.
Do you have a hard limit as far as distance goes to Vendat?
Yeah. Within that 4 hour range, I think that's pretty much max.
Yeah. Because otherwise it's a potential money loss, right? Like fucking.
Yeah. And then, you know, and our youngest, she loves going to the shows. So, you know, every time we're vending, she's like, I want to go. We don't take her to any RBC because for us, that's our time to get away and go and party and
right.
Have a good fucking time. But, you know, she'll go with us to the other one. So 4 hours is max. Because, you know, even longer by the time we close up and get back home, it's, you know, 10, 11 o'clock. She's got to get up and go to school. I got to get up and go to work.
Right. Well, and how could people get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you?
Instagram is the best way. I got Facebook also, but anything I post on Instagram goes straight to, you know, fucking Facebook anyways. But
right. And what's the handle?
It's just that it's chain_reaction_exotics.
Oh, those underscores, man.
There was one, when we got our name and we bought, you know, the website and everything, there was some dude on fucking Facebook that had Chain Reaction Exotics and had like 3 fucking snakes. And just like 2 years later, I'm like, what the fuck? So I had to put fucking underscores in there to make it work. So, you know, it is what it is.
Man, those underscores are the worst. That's like you could always tell who grew up in the early 2000s, you know, because you always fucking had to put underscores on shit in the early 2000s. And you're like, yeah, that's when they grew up. But Danny, thank you so much. And Anna, thanks for the thumbs. Okay. Why was Anna not on this one?
Because I'm old.
She doesn't like being on camera. She doesn't like her picture taken.
Oh my God. Out of control. Fucking well, go spend some time together, okay? Fucking hang out. Thank you for coming and doing this. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man. This was awesome.
And we'll definitely be hanging out next time I'm in Texas. We'll do dinner or something, all right?
Love you, babe.
Yeah, for sure.
What'd she say?
I love you, babe.
I love you, babe, too. But hang out for a minute. We'll bullshit a little bit after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Danny fucking Cadena, Chain Reaction Exotics. Chain_reaction_exotics. Okay. Don't forget those underscores. All right, Danny. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
All right, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Fatman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
Listen, guys, Stewart Design doesn't just create logos, they build brands. What do I mean by this? Well, your brand has both a verbal and visual side. Think of this as your brand message and brand image. Your brand message is what initially draws clients to you and continually generates new business. After that, the quality of your product and service keeps them coming back and retains them. Without effective messaging, you're only going to be connecting with a small percentage of the clients you could be connecting with. Your brand message helps you clearly define who you are, how are you different from your competitors, what value you offer to your clients, and why potential clients should choose you over others. For this reason, Stewart Design always starts branding projects by developing your brand's message first. Creating a logo without understanding why and how it needs to look is only going to hold your company back and should be considered fucking malpractice. Stewart Design starts by clarifying your goals, audience, and industry. Then they form your messaging. After that, they strategically determine what colors, styles, and fonts make the most sense to use. And then finally, how the logo needs to look and function. You see, the visual identity of a company should be a natural result of proper strategy. Because the question really shouldn't be, do I like this? It should be, will this work? Stewart Design figures out what will actually work and provides you with a true investment to grow your business. When done right, it should attract the right people and it should reflect your business properly. It should make your company more memorable and it should build trust and credibility with your clients. On the other hand, if it's done poorly, it could do the exact opposite. It could make you look amateur and can actually deter your business. Don't settle for a fucking idiot that simply offers you a cheap logo. Build your brand the right way. Bring out your best so you could get it right from the start and finally move out of your mother's fucking basement, crush it at Tinley, Pomona, or Arlington, and build a life for yourself doing what you love. Contact Stewart Design today. You could reach them at stewartdesignbrands.com. Again, that's stewartdesignbrands.com. All right, listen, Jeff Byers, man, and the baby manager over at Wilbanks Captive Bred Reptiles. I think this is pretty cool. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we had Chase on, and now we have Jeff on. It's kind of like a little two-parter, like the big shots behind the big shots. Okay, fucking, I've been waiting for a while to talk to Jeff, and I hope you guys enjoy it. This is my one-on-one with Jeff Byers of Wilbanks Captive Bred Reptiles. What's up, everybody? Look who I have here. The number 2 in command at Wilbanks Captive Bred Reptiles. Jeff Byers, what's up, brother?
Hi, what's up?
I'm
not a number 2 in command. I'm the curator of the animals. So I actually have 2 managers over me.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's sort of funny. We have like the general manager, Willis, and then we have like the floor manager, David.
Okay.
And so they're over me, but as far as animal care, like I can tell anybody, hey, we need to take care of this way.
Right.
As the curator, I can say, hey, we're taking care of these this way because of this. Put them on Aspen, put them on Coca, whatever. Like I can dictate how they're taken care of.
Right. How many people work there?
Right now, let's see, 2 kids, Christian, David, Willis, me, so, and Michael runs the front. So what is that, 6?
That's 6, yeah.
And then Mike, he does whatever.
All right, and that's a low number of people lower number than I would have thought, being that you guys, I mean, are you guys still at the 3,000 clutch a year point?
Thereabouts. We have done, just like everybody else, we've done a little downsizing too,
Mhm.
and focusing our efforts on all the practical pairings and whatnot. So, we're feeling a little bit of the squeeze that everyone is.
Right.
But we have a lot of avenues to move animals, so we're doing fine.
Yeah, I would imagine your distribution options are kind of off the charts. Like they're you have more than your average ball python breeder, right?
Right.
Yeah. So and you guys also do a lot of international stuff, and you guys just you guys are all over the mark. Now, I mean, we were just talking prior to this, and you were telling me a story about Mike with the first pinstripe that he bought, the $25,000 pinstripe. What year was that?
I don't know. It was I do know it was the first year that Barchek was selling any, and we got on the ground floor.
So that was probably like 2000, 2001, right?
Probably. That sounds right.
Yeah. So you've known Mike for over 20 years.
Oh yeah.
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 Okay.
I remember I was at a local Oklahoma City reptile show. We had become acquainted through Bob and talked periodically. And I told him, like, hey, like, I've got a table at the Oklahoma City show, and why don't you come hang out and check out the show? So Mike Wilbanks came to hang out with me at my table at the Oklahoma City show. And I was like, hey man, like, why don't you have a table? You've got a couple things to sell and whatever. Like, no man, I'm not ready for my own show.
Right.
That's funny to go back to that. If anybody saw him at Daytona or Tinley, he would always go with Bob, and he would have maybe a few snakes of his own, but he would go and help Bob to get his feet wet and get the atmosphere and get to know people and stuff, which is important.
Right. Okay. So you knew Mike prior to 2000, right? So it's definitely closer to probably 30 years, right?
Let's see. I have to kind of timeline things. I graduated in '98. I probably only met Bob. I may have met Mike around that time period.
Right. Okay.
But that was it.
How long have you been working for him?
This time, 3 years.
3 years. Okay. Prior to this time.
Well, this is my third time working for him.
Okay. All right.
There was this 3 years. I was at Hobby Lobby for 3 years. Another 2 years before that. And then I worked for Bob for 7 years. And then for Mike, like, basically part-time, maybe a year or two before that. So, yeah. I have got weird previous work history.
Right. So you've been I mean, you just said you've worked for Bob Clark too, right? So, and you worked for him for 7 years.
Right.
What did you do at Bob's?
For the first, I think, 2 years, I was just, taking care of animals, taking care of retics and berms and pretty much everything we had, chondros, boas, rainbows, everything.
Right.
I detest rodents, but that's the most evil part of this hobby is the rodents, in my opinion.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I'm actually allergic to them, so they actually do kill me.
Well, the rats are always the worst part of the job, right? And we used to constantly buy them. But when I look at these rat breeders now, especially when I look at women, that have their own rat breeding companies, I'm just like, fucking gross, man. Like fucking, if she raises rats, I could only imagine what the rest of her is like, right? So fucking, I write the women rat breeders off right away. And then I write the guy rat breeders off quickly after that. and it's almost like like I'll never buy from like a local rat breeder again. I mean, I don't have to right now, but it would always be the bigger companies like the Rodent Pros or the Cold-Blooded Cafes that I would just go after, because there's a corporation behind the person that you talk to, right? So it's like, I, for some reason, I just don't consider that in my head as gross. Okay, it's like, yeah, but I talk to the receptionist, so I don't have to talk to the actual rat people, But I know from talking to these mid-level breeders to the heavy hitters, that rat breeding is such an important part of it, right? You just got to find these filthy people that love to do it, okay? Because normally snake people don't love to do the rat breeding part at all.
Right. I've
You know?
actually been to our rodent breeder. They're just outside Tulsa, so not super far away, and their place is immaculate. And
Yeah.
we know about how to do it, so we've been able to advise them of like, hey, get this kind of water cooler, and you want this, amount of airflow, and da da da. And he sets everything up exactly how we tell him. He's gotten freedom breeder racks, rows and rows of freedom breeder racks
Right.
for mice, rats, holdbacks, and everything. And
So you guys don't breed at your facility as far as rats go at all?
we do some to have some on hand and some for sale in the retail area. We do have a small amount of mouse and rat breeding.
Okay. And your guys' place has an actual retail area in the front, right?
Yeah.
So that anybody could go to it, right? Yeah. And now, did you come on again for the third time just as the animal curator, or did Mike be like, you quit here 2 times, motherfucker, you're gonna have to work for it? And then you graduated to,
for that. I was still working at Hobby Lobby in the warehouse, which is, funnily enough, a mile away from where Mike's shop is now. So I could get out of work at Hobby Lobby at like 3 or 4 o'clock and come ID babies, because that's my strong suit. That's what I'm good at, is seeing the genes, and like Black Pastel does this and this other gene does that, and whatever.
Right.
So he was still paying me. He paid me $100 to come by after work and ID as many babies as I could between whenever I got there and 6 o'clock. That was a pretty good deal.
Right. Yeah, fucking A, man. Right. And then he just said, okay, we need a guy like you on staff.
Well, I was talking to Willis while I was IDing babies, and he was telling me how bogged down he was with customer emails from people trying to buy snakes or want to get a picture, or what's the temperament like, or whatever. Just this, this was right at the end of COVID, so
Right.
we're still getting the COVID money for sale. So he was shipping out 40 or 50 snakes a day. It was
Right. Yeah, I bet during COVID it was just gangbusters.
Yeah, Willis was bogged down, and I said, I can do that same stuff. Why don't you just talk to him and see if he wants me to come back, and I'll help you with that. And I can do this. And so Mike and I talked sometime after that, not super long, maybe like the following month,
Right.
And my role is, like I said, title is curator, but my role is doing the breeding plan, setting up babies, and identification and sexing the babies. So I do a lot. I do a lot that
Right.
Maybe people don't know that I do.
Right. Well, you're doing the breeding plans for what, 3,000 snakes, 5,000 snakes?
Well, I mean, if we're getting that many clutches, then I truthfully don't know how many adults we have, but it's it's a lot.
Yeah,
so
it's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I call it,
right.
Every probably September, Mike and I sit down prior to me even starting. I say, okay, where are we short? What did you want more of? What did you think was shit? You know, what do we like? And he and I get on the same page about his like his dozen things he wants, like for sure. Like, hey, try to make this or make more of these, whatever.
Right.
Get on board with those things, and then I can kind of do whatever I want after that.
Right.
So
I got you. Okay.
I honor his wishes for 20% of it, and then I just go with reckless abandon for the rest.
Right. I got you. Okay. And were you around, or at least working there? I know you were around, but for the reptile ring stuff, which
Yeah.
for all you people that don't know, that was the first auction site, I think ever, right? Before that, they were maybe doing it on Facebook.
There was a really old one that you might remember, Reptibid. You remember that?
Oh shit, yeah, I do remember Reptibid, but I thought it
the first one, but
did.
that
Okay.
one went defunct however long ago. I actually bought a snake or two off of that way
Right.
back. But you know, I think we were the premier auction place because Facebook auctions weren't even. Well, yeah, Facebook auctions were happening.
Right. Yeah.
Bob was doing his, and Ben Siegel was doing his, and all the bigger Facebook auctions were happening.
Right. Fuck, Ben Siegel. That was a fucking name I haven't heard in fucking years. You know.
Well, you know, that's what's funny is I was just scrolling through Facebook one night and I happened to notice a Ben Siegel auction, and it was for a croc monitor. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna watch this. This is interesting. And I'm watching the people bid and blah blah blah, and the winner wins, and they say paid, and whoever was running the auction, maybe it was Ben, said, okay, yeah, we received it. Everything's good. I was like, holy shit, this dude just paid $700 for this croc monitor. That's awesome. Right. I told Bob about it the next day. He's like, oh, I'm not sure. Like maybe we'll try it. And we put up like a het albino male retic, like the least loss that we could take, you know.
Right.
And it's sold for like $80 or $100. And he was like, I like this. I'm going to keep doing this.
Right.
And so that's where Bob's auctions started for me noticing Ben Siegel's.
Right. Well, Ben Siegel, I mean, it's a sad thing that happened to him, but
it's numerous bad things. It was just just waiting to explode.
Yeah, but it's a sad thing that happened in like the funniest way, because I mean, he had somebody die from eating a cockroach on a contest, right? That's totally not his fault, right? If you're dumb enough to fucking eat a cockroach, huh?
And you couldn't have told me that there's a correlation between a shellfish allergy and an allergy to a Madagascar hissing cockroach.
Right.
Right. Would have figured that.
Yeah, it was definitely, kind of screwed up how the guy passed away and all that. However, what Ben did do was he fucking slapped an employee with a bearded dragon, and fucking that is still the funniest story that I've ever heard, because you could just see him, taking a bearded dragon by the tail and whacking the guy in the fucking face. It's like something out of a cartoon, so fucking when we heard about that was like this dude really is a dick if he's fucking doing shit like that, because we dealt a little bit with Ben, buying some stuff, but
I sold my snakes one year.
Well, didn't Jerry from Scales take over for Ben?
I have no idea. I do know that Ben is good friends with Amir, so Amir was helping him for a long time.
Right.
I don't know what is going on there. If there's anything, I'm not saying anything, but I know that they
right. Yeah. No, what's funny is probably fucking 80% of the listeners to this show have no idea who Amir is or Ben Siegel is or fucking, like Bob Clark, because nobody learns history anymore, right? Like it's like, what do you think of the new crowd that's just coming out and just kind of, getting into the snakes because of the money? because I really don't see it happening with the green tree people or the monitor people, but I definitely see it happening with the ball python people.
Well, it happens with ball pythons because ball pythons are easy. It
Right.
doesn't happen with green trees because they're not easy. It doesn't happen with monitors because they're not easy. Like you can't, I say can't, you shouldn't have like 100 adult Asian water monitors. That's crazy. I don't think he does. They might, but we have one pair of black dragons at work, and they're a lot of work just for two. And there's no reason we ever need more than that pair ever.
Right.
And the amount of time that and I think all 5 or 6 of us mess with them every day, and they're really socialized. But imagine doing it with like 20, just like 20 is insane. Kevin might have 20. He probably does. But
I mean, really, like the amount of space that's involved with having to do something like that. But like even with the green trees, like you have to have them, even though they're perched, all the time. You have to have them in a 2 or 3 3 by 3 foot cage. The footprint for ball pythons is you could fit 80 in a fucking rack, right? So it's like it definitely is way easier. But I would still like the people coming into it to know a little bit about the history. I mean, it was a big deal, when the first pinstripe came out. It was a big deal when the first albino piebald came out. We spent $7,000 on our first albino. Not even like a lavender. It was $7,000 in like 2003 or 4, and we didn't have any intention of breeding it. We were just buying it because it was a cool looking, pet. Right. But we found out everything that we needed to know about it before we got it. We found out like the history of ball pythons in America when it was just a shit fucking byproduct snake, all the way up to when it was starting to really take off in the early 2000s. I don't think the new people do that anymore. And I know I sound like a crotchety old man fucking saying that, but really, like, shouldn't you have to know a little bit more than basic husbandry to fucking, start a company? The thing I always say is like everybody does it for the money, because you can't name me one friend who has one ball python. Okay. Right. Like everybody has 11 ball pythons, 15 ball pythons, because they intend to breed it and make money at it.
And if you're not in it for the money at all, then sell all your babies for $100 a piece.
Right. And just move on. Just move on.
There's no $100 phone pays.
I totally hear you, man. It's it's what would you say is like, because you've seen it change, right, over 20 years, 25 years. You've seen the multiple recessions that have happened over the last 20, 25 years. So what do you think about the current recession, and how much do you think it's going to bounce back from what it was 3 years ago?
Thinking about this because I anticipated you asking, but pre-COVID, I was kind of tapped out of the industry, but still, have plenty of reptile friends and watching how things were going. We were heading to this recession anyway.
Right.
Put everything on halt, put everybody at home, and gave them money. They're like, okay, I guess we'll buy snakes. I bought fishing gear.
Right.
Let's get some snakes, and people were buying snakes, and so, oh well, I can buy these, and I can breed them, and I can make this with this, and COVID put a temporary band-aid, I think, on what was happening anyway. So we were headed towards this downturn. COVID, extra money, influx, quick pop up, and now we're back to. I think we're back to where we were pre-COVID.
Okay, so no COVID. You think that this recession would have started in 2020, 2021?
I think so, because it was heading that way, in my opinion.
Right. It was just a natural progression of what was going on. Yeah. I mean, when the bigger guys are selling snakes for $75,000, $80,000. But like anybody with a brain on their head is gonna, or in their head, is gonna know like this can't possibly last, because no matter what you're producing, you're devaluing the project, right? The more that you put out, the more money the next guy doesn't get, right?
Yeah,
So
and your customer becomes your competition, and that's just the nature of the beast. We've
all the
always
time. Yeah. Yeah, that was I used to be good friends with Tom Baker, who was the first guy that did the crystal.
Mhm.
And when he pulled out, he was like, I'm pulling out because you can't you're selling to future competitors all the time. And if you sell 15 snakes in a year, let's say, you're going to have 15 competitors in 3 years, right? So you really got to keep ahead of everything.
Well, that's why you have to do what Justin's doing, is keep ahead, keep on the next project, keep on like I'm certain he's said it in more than one video, like this awesome thing, whatever he's holding just hatched. Okay, how do I make it better? What's the next step after this? This is cool, but what are we going to do now?
Right. And Justin happened to have a head for it. Like Justin, could see, 3 generations down off that snake. Whereas I think your average person, even a good average person, can't see that far ahead.
Do you remember the days of like the King Snake Forum when that was the big thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So did you see Justin was, he was operating in this very small space, and that was what he told everybody that asked him, like, he'd post, like, at the time, let's say a pastel het pied, but at the time it was a big deal. Like, holy crap, you're getting rid of the adult female pastel het pied. Why would you do that?
Right.
And he said, hey, I've got this finite space, and I've got a snake, whatever kind of snake that's going to replace that one that's better, and like constantly upgrading. And we just thought he was crazy. But back then, it seemed like it was. But now, like, that's what a lot of people should have been doing, is just keeping ahead, keeping on the forefront of what the next combo is.
Well, it's true. Like seeing guys like Justin, like Mike, like Ozzy, it's clear that they've been playing the long game for years now, right? Like as opposed to these people coming out now that think they're going to make their money back in 3 years, and it's kind of rough to watch, but at the same time it's kind of fun to watch, because it's just like, oh, okay, you're going to take your retirement and dump it in the ball pythons, and taking $100 grand is good for the industry, but I struggle with thinking, is it good for the individual, right? That's spending it,
Right. There's a lot more to it. You got to market yourself. You got to go to shows. You got to get out. Even have a social media presence. There's more to it, like, than just having cool snakes. Cool snakes is good. It's a good start.
Right.
You can use the cool snakes to engage people, and just like you do with the 15 minutes of lame and up and coming breeders and whatnot, like getting that ball rolling of like them getting themselves out there.
Please excuse this brief interruption for a word from one of our sponsors. All right, listen, this ain't financial advice, okay? If you think you're going to get financial advice on this show, you are on the wrong show. That's another thing. Fucking be careful, all these financial advice fucking shows out there nowadays. Anyway, Liberty Business Services. Are you a 1099 employee, also known as an independent contractor? If so, Kevin from Liberty Business Services can help you receive up to 32 grand back, okay? Actually, it's 32,200. The self-employed tax credit was passed by federal legislation in response to the old Kung flu, okay? See, I didn't say it, right? So YouTube can't demonetize me. Anyway, this money comes back to you in the form of a check from the U.S. Treasury. Or how about this? How about maybe you're a business owner with W-2 employees and experienced a partial or full closure, supply chain issues, or had a loss in revenue due to the Kung flu. The Employee Retention Credit Program was created for you. you could be eligible for the ERC program, which is a payroll tax refund of up to 26 grand per employee. A portion of Liberty Business Services proceeds will be donated to USARC. Kevin is a lifelong reptile keeper, so he's giving back. Got this new company and he's killing it. He's done work for Nerd. He's done work for Wilbanks. He's done work for a bunch of other people. So, yeah, portion of his proceeds going right to USARC. For more information, please call Kevin. You could text him also at 570-855-6060 or go to libertybusinessservices.com for more information. Thanks, Kevin. Look, it doesn't matter what reptile you're feeding. The Reptile Deli has it all. I'm beyond excited to have my old friend Brian Kazmarchak bringing the Reptile Deli to the strip mall that is Snakes and the Fat Man. I've watched Brian grow this business from a fucking storage pod to a 25,000 square foot facility in a state where they make it almost impossible for a small business to succeed, let alone grow. Reptile Deli has been producing some of the industry's best feeder rodents for almost 15 years. Their rodents are grown under the best conditions and regularly tested for quality to be sure they're in optimal health before they ship them right to your door. Reptile Deli also has a roach issue. They've spent years raising dubia roaches and have put insane efforts into R&D so that your pet reptiles get the very best. They offer cup dubia roaches, bulk dubia roaches, and wholesale dubia roaches in a variety of sizes. Are you one of those bioactive people? The deli offers simply the best isopods and springtails in the business, with cutting-edge isopod and springtail technology that brings in unbelievable shelf life with biostable microhabitat culture cups. They have an incredible selection of isopods for sale, from rare species all the way down to the common roly-polies, man. Reptile Deli has grown into a cutting-edge feed manufacturer and are distributors of the most advanced reptile products. But don't take my word for it. Take the word of over 800 retail locations across North America that are selling their products. Check them out now at reptiledeli.com. Right, because it used to be where you could just produce a cool snake and show a picture of it, and everybody was the mega fan, okay? But I don't think that you could produce a cool snake and just post a picture of it now without having and this is probably a bad way to describe it, but without having a brand behind that snake.
Exactly.
Because Chase and I were talking, the other day. It's like fucking you can't be in this game now without stickers, without Instagram, without banners, without all this. And it's become so easy to just get stickers. Do you remember what we had to do in 2005 to get stickers? Like, you had to find a place in China. You had to fucking wait 4 months for it. You had to hope that it was right. Whereas now you could brand your company in a week, So it's, I love that the industry brought so many people into it, but I almost have a feeling like it's over half of the wrong people coming into it, and that's not saying that I'm down on the hobby, because I think in 2025 that this whole thing is going to turn around, and it's going to be it's going to get back to what it should be. It's going to level out, right, at some point. But the amount of collection sales that you're seeing, this is not new. This has happened in every recession, right? Like fucking every one of them, right? Like, because I would say in the 2000s, there's probably been 4 or 5 ball python recessions.
Yeah, for sure. And we need these new people that aren't totally committed, or they overextended themselves or whatever. We kind of need them to get out, sell their collections, those animals to go to more seasoned breeders or whatever winds up happening to them. And, that combined with, I listen to a ton of different podcasts and breeders and lives and stuff. And I hear it across the board where everyone is trying to do a little bit less pairings this season, and kind of cushion for the lack of outflow of production. So if everybody's doing the same thing, like it sounds like, people are getting out, and we're about to have less babies than we did last year. So maybe we can put a fast track on getting out of this downturn by having a little bit more limited production, and then create a little more demand, and maybe prices can come up a little bit. But even if the prices didn't come up very much, but the amount of sales did increase, that's still good.
Yeah. No, well, speaking of production, the one thing that Wilbanks has been accused of is overproduction, right? Well, like, how do you guys handle that criticism?
Let's see, what is Mike's answer? It's because I've asked him, and he's like, well, these are the times we're living in, and we operate in a little bit different plane. We don't do all the stuff Justin does, like really fancy, cool, like next level pairings is like 20% of what we do. 25. We are mainly catering to the pet side of the industry. We have agreements with vendors for wholesale, stuff like that. That's where a lot of the base production goes. We make a lot of bells, we make a lot of superfires, we make a lot of pieds, and those are introductory animals. It's the animals you actually need people to get interested.
To see how cool it is.
You wouldn't pick up a pied for 10 grand and be like, oh, this is my first pet snake. No. But now you can pick up a male pied for what, $150?
Yeah, I was going to say $200. Yeah.
They're not much, but you can pick up that really cool, just a regular pied, maybe a pastel if you're getting crazy. And that can be your first pet snake now.
Right. Well, basically like starter snakes.
Starter.
Yeah.
We're selling cages, we're selling the bedding, feeders, like the whole deal to get people started. And you and I know it all started somewhere. I the bush baby from my local pet store as far as ball pythons go.
Right. Yeah, I remember getting a wild caught fucking Petco snake, or not not Petco, but local pet shop snake. My first ball pythons were from local pet shops, and they were wild caught. So do you think that there's enough ball pythons in the country right now that excuse me, do you think there's enough ball pythons in the country right now where importation is no longer needed?
I feel like we have to have enough. Obviously, like new genes should come in, and like the sub-Saharan, like the Volta ball python, those are interesting to get that blood in the collection. But I struggle to say that it's necessary. It sucks for the ball python. I know you have mixed emotions about Dave Kaufman's video, but that puts it actually in light of like what is going on over there. That if they're not selling those snakes as pets to mostly the U.S., there's probably a lot going to Southeast Asia and Europe, other countries. They're gonna just sit there and get eaten, and then those python breeders, they're eventually gonna quit breeding ball pythons, and they're gonna move on to something else or whatever. But it sucks to think about what's going to happen to those animals in Africa if we quit importing them altogether.
Right.
I still think enough are probably produced in the U.S. But if that quota from CITES is available, and we have importers that are willing to pay the $3 to $7 a head or whatever it is for an import baby, depending on how many you get, it's probably going to just keep happening because they can turn around and sell them for $20 a head, and that's great for them.
Right. Well, the whole thing too is like, and I think Dave's video made it clear. If importation stops, the animals are just going to get killed anyway for skin trade or for anything else. But the thing is that I think that there's so many ball pythons being produced in America that this year, I think this year is when it's going to happen. Ball pythons going to be sold for food anyway,
right? I with the way our snake economy is right now, I'm sure somebody will, but I personally see it hard to justify. I think, I don't know if Outback's still doing it or not, but are they going to get 50,000 normals from Africa?
Right.
I doubt it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Be wrong, and don't quote me on that. Like, I don't see how anyone's going to justify numbers.
Right. Well, Outback is Ian, right? So, I just don't see them, bringing in 50,000 ball pythons a year. I don't see anybody pulling in 50,000. I think that it really has to be something different in order for any of the bigger guys now to to get involved and see what the potential is, because there's a few genes like Nyala or Nalia or whatever that was been imported this year. I believe me, I don't see it, but I'm not the guy to see it. I'm the guy that sees I can't see the subtle shit in the ball python that'll make a difference. I see the big giant difference, like a Pompeii, and I'm like, hey, why don't we just buy the Pompeii? Because what I think a lot of people also don't realize is that like your time is so much more important than the amount of money, right? So let's say you buy the ingredients, for a Pompeii, and you don't get a Pompeii for 6 years, okay? And a Pompeii costs 50 grand or whatever, it would cost. You're going to make a lot more in 6 years working, than you would, getting that Pompeii. So, or trying to get, trying to hit other odds. So I don't see the people coming into it now even thinking like that, right? Because when we were coming up, people were like, I want to make it, I want to make that bell, or I want to make that, albino pied, or I want to, make this or that. And I don't see the I want to make it mentality right now. I see the buy it and try to reproduce it, mentality. And also, where the fuck are these kids getting 30, 40, 50 grand? Well, like when I was 22, I didn't have fucking 50 grand. I didn't have access to 50 grand. You know?
Not even close.
Yeah, so I must have missed a meeting, so.
I had mine started, my grandmother gave me in their will, she left me like a $7,000 CD. And so I bought 2 pastels. I had a down payment on a car with my $7,000. I bought a pair of pastels for $4,000. Pastels
that sell for $30 right now.
I bought my mail from Mike, a Nerd Lemon Lime pastel for $2,000.
Right.
My first clutch was 11 eggs. I had 3 pastels. I got screwed in that clutch, but I still tripled my money on that first clutch.
Right. Yeah, but because you do it every day, do you think it was more fun doing it back then, or do you think it's more fun doing it now?
I don't know. It's like, it's fun in a different way because like at work, I have so many snakes to do stuff with. Like, let's go back a little bit to what you said about the Pompeii. And yeah, like I'm trying to make a Pompeii at work. Full disclosure, we're not Like, I don't know if we'll have one this year, but the thing that is going to happen though is, let's say I'm using 10 snakes in various genetic configurations to make ingredients for a Pompeii. There's going to be a bunch of snakes as byproduct from those that are sellable. So you can sell pieces of that along the way that you absolutely don't need for making your Pompeii, while still keeping the 6 or 8 babies that are intricate to making your Pompeii. So it's not, sheerly just like, waiting to hit the Pompeii. You're getting to sell some of that stuff along the way. Like, you only need so many black pastel spot nose hat clowns. Somebody else needs that for their version of the Pompeii, or
that they could add something different to it. So I think that you guys have firmly established yourselves as the non-boutique breeder, and still showed that it could work. Like having a business could work, because you guys aren't Justin, you guys aren't Ozzy, but you guys make a business that works out of supplying the people with intro things, right? So a lot of people think that they're doing it the right way by doing that, until they realize, like, I spent $10,000 on the snake and I only made $800 on the babies, right? So if I keep doing this, I gotta survive for 11 years to get my money back. And nobody just wants to get their money back, right? I mean, it's just like
appreciating every year.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going lower and lower. So that's why I don't argue with people when they say it's a race to the bottom, because it is a race to the bottom, because the more you put out, the less it's worth.
Right.
And
I'm fortunate where I am, because, like I said, the 20% versus the 80%, I still get to do like really awesome pairings, or like I search Morph Market every day, and I search the internet to see, like, hey, what if I make a special with cinnamon and this and that and something else, and like, has that been done? And like, what if it's cool? It might suck, but one of my tasks literally is think outside the box, find like another like really amazing pairing that hasn't been thought of yet. And so I'm doing that like every day, like trying to figure out, like, Special does this, or Lace does that, or whatever, and like how to make one thing react another way. And you've got these 2 genes that'll react heavily with each other. What can I put on top of that gene to make that really pop, make it dark, make it light, make it bright, orange, whatever.
Yeah. I love the fact that Special made such a comeback, like fucking, I wish Tom Baker was still alive to see this, because fucking, Special was dormant for years and years, right? Like fucking, but that's all it takes is one Justin video,
right,
to change the market. And you guys, even on your 25% that are next level and high end animals, you guys don't really do videos showing off when you hit something, right? Because I haven't seen a lot.
No, because we don't have a lot of time.
Right.
Debbie Gershbane from the Growing Up Wilbanks Facebook page used to come to town pretty regular. And like I said in Herp Collectors Live the other night, like, I cannot, and something in my head, I can't rattle off a video like Justin does, for example. And he and I've actually talked about it a long time ago. But I need somebody to bounce off of, to kind of keep me on track, but like keep me talking. Like, I couldn't just sit here and talk to the computer. I'm talking to you,
Right, right.
And so,
do you guys, the girl that did the Growing Up Wilbanks, I thought that was actually a great idea. I was following that for a while. Do you guys don't have a strictly social media person in a role that is just like you guys don't have a summer from Canova, right?
No, we don't. One of the guys at work, Christian, he's been doing the stuff for the Instagram and TikTok and the Facebook page, but he's actually leaving us in about a month to go be a police officer. So I'm not sure, and we could definitely be doing more. I just don't know who's going to do it because I'm busy, David's busy, Willis is busy, and Dustin and the kids, they're busy. So I'm not sure who would do it. We would probably have to bring somebody in to do the social media, do like a weekly video, and keep up with that stuff. Mike's daughter was doing it for a while, over a year ago. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think that it doesn't hurt you guys tremendously because you guys have found a way to make it work without it, right? Like it's like you guys aren't worrying if you're going to have money the next day to buy your lunch, right? Like you guys are in a unique position where you guys are producing, a lot of fucking animals, but are also selling the animals. Because the biggest complaint I see nowadays is the smaller breeders are like, I did a show, spent $700 to be at the show, and I made $40 at the show.
Right.
And that's what I think is going to be the thing that hurts people because it's kind of like an ego killer right away. Imagine these days vending your first show and making zero money and then spending vending the second show and making zero money and vending the third show. I mean, that shit kills your ambition pretty quick,
Yeah, it's very disheartening.
Yeah. You guys sell more on Morph Market or actually at expos?
I think both. We get website sales from our website. We get more sales via Morph Market, sales at shows. Yeah, so it's really all of it. And we have walk-in customer too. In our retail area, we have gonna say like maybe 100 different snakes available up front that people can just come in and look at, and they might see them. But then we have people that show up and like, hey, like this snake that's on your website, can I see that? And then Michael will go back and get it and bring it out and show it to them. So we do stuff that way too. We're trying to sell on every avenue that we possibly can, and it's working.
Right. Yeah. But I remember my old partner bought a snake. I called up Mike and did the deal. And Mike was like, buy it through the website. And I'm like, yeah, that's the, that's the way to do it. What's your favorite and least favorite thing about this hobby today? And I'm not talking about where you work. I'm talking about this hobby in general. Yeah.
Least favorite is probably like the people that have like a corn snake and a bearded dragon and are going to tell me that I'm wrong.
Right, yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up. I've been taking care of reptiles for bordering 30 years. Like, come on. You just sit down. Actually, I got this advice as a child. I was underage at an Oklahoma City Hurt Club meeting. I was the obnoxious one that always said something or like, oh, what about this or what about that? And Joe Branham of the Oklahoma City Zoo sat me down and said, Jeff, I want you to sit down, shut the fuck up, listen, and you might actually learn something.
Right.
I was like 16 or 17, and I thought my life was ending, Right. But it was actually very valuable advice, and I'm still friends with Joe to this day.
The best advice I ever got was shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up and listen. Also, pee before you leave. Okay. Yeah. And I didn't think that was important before I hit like 48, 49, but now it's a big deal. All right. So fucking best piece of advice I ever got was shut the fuck up and pee before you leave.
solid
Yeah.
advice.
Now, what's your favorite thing about the hobby?
I think it's also the people. It's like
Yeah.
seeing new people, and like, I enjoy like seeing kids that are interested in the hobby, and like hearing some little kid geek out on like a crested gecko. That's fucking cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just great.
Well, that's what I always said about Barczyk. Whether people love him or hate him, you can't deny the influence he had. Because if I walk into a Petco, like, and there's a 9-year-old kid looking at a bearded dragon, he's not going to know who the fuck I am, but he's definitely going to know who the fuck Barczyk is, right? Like, fucking, you know, when you have that kind of reach that brings people into the hobby, that was like an amazing thing. And maybe it's too soon to ask, but I don't give a fuck. Do you see a new Barczyk coming along anytime soon?
It's hard to say. I mean, I would love to see Noah like fully carry the torch, and I
Right.
he does.
I think that motherfucker's stepping up real well right now. You know, for someone that was gone during the bulk of his dad's illness, I think Noah's stepping it up. I actually think the whole staff is stepping it up big time now. But also, I see like Adam Wickens, you know, being a cool guy, even though he just had this issue with Morph Market that I don't know dick about yet. But fucking, I'm gonna read.
I know of Adam. I've seen a few of his shows. We're not friends or anything, but you know, I don't dislike what he's doing. But I don't know what issue he had either.
It was something about cohabiting female leopard geckos.
Keep an eye on them.
Yeah, that's it. Just keep an eye on it. And also, one of the comments I made last night in a live was like, in the wild, they don't do this. In the wild, they don't do that. And like, my whole point is, these animals are so many generations, you know, outside the wild, that I believe like things that didn't work 10 years ago, 12 years ago, are going to work now. Right. You know, because the animals, whether you want to think it or not, are going to learn, you know, new behavior. Okay. So I get fucking irritated when people are like, in the wild, I'm like, dude, in the wild, this fucking Pompeii would never survive. But like, how could you compare it to fucking what happens in the wild? This Pompeii right now knows that it eats every, 3 days or 7 days. You know, like fucking in the wild, this thing may not eat for a month. You know, so that animal's never learned that month of starvation. You know, so so I get real irritated with people that are always like, in the wild, it doesn't do this. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. You know, like they should take the advice. You know, so now where do you see Jeff Byers in 5 years?
Probably sitting on my stool looking at little snake buttholes.
Yeah. You think you'll still be at Wilbanks?
I think so. I don't see us going anywhere anytime soon, and I've kind of niched role myself into what I do. Like, nobody else at work does what I do. There's guys that can, like David, the floor manager. He can ID probably a good 90-95% of anything I actually ID. Like, I'm good with that last 5%, like the really intricate, like there's 5 genes here and let me tell you why.
Right.
But he has other stuff to do. He's doing 8 hours worth of work too. Right. So I am taking a lot of work off of their plate, you know, doing the breeding plan, moving the males, setting up babies, IDing, all that. Like, they can do it. They get to do their own stuff because I'm doing it. Right.
And you're part of a lot of the social media groups.
Yes, okay? I'm probably the most social media present of the staff that actually, like, oh hey, that's Jeff. He works for Mike.
Right. Well, you know what's funny is that I thought that you were low key, right? But then I started telling some friends like, yeah, I'm having Jeff on the show, and the friends like in Florida are like, oh, you're having Jeff on? That's fantastic, right? And I'm just, what's that?
I got people everywhere.
Yeah, you got people that know people, okay? Because you're a big part of the ARIA group, right?
I don't know about big part, but I am a part.
You're part of it, okay?
Steve Nelson, he's great. His wife, they post cool stuff. We'll see him at any RBC show. He's been by the shop. But yeah, I'm not very active there. I post when like I think I need to say something. I rarely just willy-nilly post stuff unless it's in World of Ball Pythons. I'll post like cool work pictures, and I'm pretty confident everybody there knows that, oh, hey, this is one of Mike's snakes. Jeff works for Mike.
Right.
So
right.
like I actually hardly ever post any of mine unless it's a rough scale Python or something.
Right. Yeah. Something cool. Right.
Yeah.
And what's the other groups that you're part of? You're not part of feedback, FBI feedback and inquiry groups, are you?
I think I'm a member of it, but I don't actively post there.
Yeah.
The one place I actually post and have a fair bit of exchanges is the World of Ball Pythons group.
Right. Okay.
Shout out to Jerry and Zach. You guys rock.
And with your fucking 10,000 animals over at Wilbanks, do you use clutch? Okay.
No, but Mike has talked to Justin about using clutch, and I believe the consensus was they're not quite ready for a collection that big.
Right. I believe that. Yeah. Fucking, that would be like, unless you're ready to scale, like never before.
John was working on something like that too, right? You remember?
No. Yep. I remember.
And I hadn't met John prior to like the following Arlington that I was back full time at Mike's. He introduced himself. We talked about that system that they were trying to implement. And he said, well, hey, what would it take to get you guys to switch over to our thing? I said, John, you're going to have to fly somebody out and enter all the data. That's what you have to do.
Right.
Like,
well, that's the whole thing, right?
He almost immediately said, oh yeah, we can do that. It's like,
right.
Oh, all right. You want to weigh 7,000 snakes? Go for it.
Right. Fucking A. That's the hard part of all these management things, right? Is the initial input, Yeah.
We use Reptiscan and we use it now because like everything is in the system. Like I can trace back 12 or 14 years on some snakes, if they're still in the collection, which
dude, I love the fact that you still use Reptiscan. Fucking, we used to use that with eyeballs. Fucking, that was the only one out there, at the time.
We were one of the flagship vendors for Reptiscan.
Yep, I remember. I fucking remember, man. It's great to see that you're still using that. Morph Market, better under John's leadership or Darian's leadership?
Darian's leadership is interesting. He's not as quiet as John. Like I said, I hadn't met John. I hadn't heard about John. I sent kind of a bit email to John, I guess, saying like I didn't like how there was a message interface they were changing how the messaging worked. And part of the daily was checking messages and answering customers. It was really screwing up, and I was mad. So I just sent like kind of a hate email. Like I didn't like swear at him or anything. I didn't know who I was sending anything to. It was like, hey, I like the old way. It needs to go back, blah, blah, blah. Real hated because it was fresh in my mind. And that's when he came up to me at Arlington and said, hey, you're Jeff, right? I was like, yeah, I'm John from Morph. I was like, oh.
That would have been funny if he just would have punched you, right? Like, fucking, like, hey, it's me. Like, that's what I worry about going to every show. I'm like, I need to keep security guard because fucking I know that fucking Dave Kaufman is gonna be behind me one day and just be like, "Hey, fat man," and just hit me with a chair like fucking old wrestling style, you know. So
I got
fucking,
punched at a reptile show once.
what you got? What?
I got punched at a reptile show once.
Let's hear that. Let's hear that story.
Well, this dude thought I was making fun of him and his kid, and I thought we were friends. So I was ribbing my friend. Any of my really good friends, I fuck with them, and they fuck with me. And like that's
Right,
just
right. That's the
what
thing.
we do.
Yeah.
And he had a video of Mike's pastel clowns hatching behind his table at an Oklahoma City show. And I'm looking at the video like, dude, you hatch pastel clowns. That's freaking awesome. Like, oh no, those are Mike's. Like, what you got somebody else's snakes hatching behind your table for? And like, it escalated from there. And I'm a talker. I can talk my way out of a lot of things, but there was absolutely a pivotal point where I thought, he's for sure going to hit me.
Right. Yeah, you become one of those. It was at this moment that Jeff realized he fucked up. You know, like fucking.
Yeah, I'll take my comeuppance. I didn't grovel. I didn't bitch out or anything. I took my slug and I looked at him before I went to the bathroom. I was like, I apologized to you because I apologized. I said I was sorry. I didn't know I was going to upset him so much.
Right.
So yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, that's
I can be a little much sometimes. I know I talk a lot and I have opinions on things, and some people don't like them. But my best used to hate me. That's what's funny is. And one of the guys I'm not quite as close with anymore, but absolutely would still call a friend. He's like, Jeff, you know what? I fucking hated you when I met you, but you've been consistent the whole time I've known you, and I fucking appreciate that. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I hate you so much that I almost respect you. You know, like fucking. That's the way it goes. But that was
very much.
that was obviously, the time before like fucking. There was the memes like Mike Tyson saying, people have forgotten, what it's like to be punched in the mouth, like fucking talking shit on social media and everything else.
He hasn't until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah. I mean, when was that? That was not like at a show 2 years ago. That had to be at a show. Yeah.
Shit, it was maybe 10 years ago.
Right. That's what I figured. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Possibly longer.
Jesus Christ. Well, Mike, do you guys have anything special going on at Wilbanks Captive Bred Reptiles right now?
Not anything I can talk about. We always have snakes for sale.
Right.
Special.
I remember, Mike. I don't know if we could talk about this, but if we can, I'll take it out. Sure. when I put this out. But Mike was telling me about racks that you guys were getting in.
Yeah.
Are you still getting those racks in?
Oh, like that we were going to distribute?
Right.
The LP racks from, I think, Denmark or wherever Jesper is. I think they're still talking about it, but I don't know. We were having some trouble with, there's always some trouble of what he thought they were worth, what we felt they were worth, or whatever. Right. And so they were trying to work out the logistics of making it worth it for everybody. And shipping container costs a gajillion dollars to get from there here and takes 6 weeks and whatever. So there's a lot to that. We would like to be able to do that, but it's also very easy to send somebody to Recoil or send somebody to AP and get a plastic rack that way. Freedom breeders are great. We have a ton of freedom breeder racks. We have ARS racks. They're all good. So it would be nice for us to have that. I just don't know if it's going to come to fruition. And he's got a lot of irons in the fire. We're probably at max like other projects. We've got incubators. We've got all these different product lines. We have our own cocoa. Sorry, JT.
Well, the incubators were a huge thing, right? I mean, when those incubators came out,
Big
people
deal.
are going buck wild over them, you know.
And I use 5 or 6 of them at work, you know, between geckos or chondros, water monitors.
Right.
Just took all the colubrids out of brumation last week.
Mm.
So I use one of the big old 760s because we don't have a ton of adult colubrids, so I can put them all in one of those.
Right.
It just came out. So I mean, we're happy to put our money where our mouth is and actually put our own eggs in them, or you know, brumated animals in them. But we use the walk-in incubators for our own,
Right.
you know, major production.
Right.
But anything that needs something special, you know, chondros can't incubate the same temperature. You know, the Chihuahua geckos can't incubate the same temperature. The water monitors, they're different, so they've each like got their own incubator.
Right. No, that's fucking great. I love how successful the incubators were. I mean, just initially when they first came out. All right, Jeff, how could people get in touch with you? And do you want people to get in touch with you?
I don't mind. People ask me snake stuff every day. I help people ID clutches, or you know, I've got friends all over the country that like they're hiking and they find a snake. Like, hey, what the fuck is this? And I tell them it's whatever kind of garter snake or copperhead that it is.
Right.
So Facebook, just Jeff Byers. Instagram is Jeff Byers. I think I just changed it to Jeff at Wilbanks Reptiles, or Jeff Byers at Wilbanks Reptiles.
Mhm.
Also, Nephris, that's the name I started it with like years and years ago.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and either of those is fine. I get Facebooks every day from snake people asking me something.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's how old are you?
I am 44.
Okay. So you're in the age where like Facebook is still relevant, where, you know, as opposed to if you're under 30, they're like, fuck, you're on Facebook, you old fuck. You know, like there's like, get on Instagram. All right. But seriously, Jeff, thank you for your time today. I appreciate you
Thanks
being
for having me.
I fucking love it. I met you one time, right, in Arlington.
Yeah, we met at Arlington, maybe 2 Arlingtons ago, something like that.
Yeah, that was the last time I was there.
Actually, Mike wasn't there, and you asked me where he was, and he hadn't come in yet or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was when I had 2 legs. You know, like fucking that
had full digits at the time.
Yeah, fucking meeting me again will never be the same. Okay, so you're one of the few. Yeah, well, yeah, if I'm in the chair, I'm a lot lower, but I refuse to go to a reptile show in the chair. You know, like fucking, I'll be walking at the next reptile show. So, dude, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate
fucking
it.
Jeff Byers, Wilbanks Captain Bred Reptiles. Go check them out. Like, follow, subscribe on Instagram. Is Mike still doing the Rumble videos?
I don't know. I haven't heard about it.
Okay. Yeah. Last time I talked to him, he was like, Chris, you got to get over to Rumble. There's no censorship there, you know, and I did it for a couple of episodes, but then I was like, man, there's too much work uploading it twice, you know, like fucking.
Like I said, a lot of irons in the fire. He keeps himself very busy. And then at the same time, once he's home, his home time with his wife and kids is extremely important to him. So he very rarely does any snake stuff at home that I'm aware of. Because I will ask him stuff and be like, oh, hey, like, I don't know, let's talk tomorrow. I was like,
right.
We'll fucking talk tomorrow.
No. That's the way to keep sane, though, right? Fucking, that's definitely the way to keep sane.
Yeah, very good separation of work and fam.
Yeah, it's all about compartmentalization. Okay, so, dude, thank you again, man. I appreciate you. Everybody, go follow Jeff, fucking Jeff Byers, Wilbanks Captive Bred Reptiles. Thank you, Jeff.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, listen, by now, all of you people know, especially Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana people, Herps is the best independent run show circuit in the country. Let's see where they're going to be on March 16th and March 17th. Hell, that's this weekend, okay? They're going to be in the Jew capital of Texas, bunch of Jewish cowboys, Rosenberg, Texas. That's going to be on March 16th and March 17th. They're going to be in Slidell, Louisiana on April 6th and April 7th. They're going to be in Austin, Texas. Elon, fucking Rogan, Segura, I think. I mean, all the greats. April 20th and 21st. Let's see, West Monroe, Louisiana, May 4th and May 5th. They're going to be in Conroe, Texas on June 8th and June 9th. They're going to be in Longview, Texas on June 22nd and 23rd. Going back to Slidell, Louisiana on July 20th and the 21st. Then they're going to be in Sulphur, Louisiana. That's a new show. July 27th and 28th. That's a cool name for a town. Man, that's a fuck of a lot cooler than Rosenberg. Anyway, you want to check them out, go to herpshows.net. No, it's just herpshow.net. I've been doing the fucking ad for fucking 5 years now. You'd think I would know the address. I have it bookmarked, okay? That's all I'm saying. I don't have to type it in every time. Go to herpshow.net. Tell Sean and Lori what a great job they're doing. Listen, all right, guys, thanks for sticking around for the last pre-recorded episode. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here. Maybe I won't be able to get guests to do it live. And then I'll go back to pre-recorded. But anyway, the schedule on the lives, the Snakes and the Fat Man live shows on YouTube and all the audio platforms, of course, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, all the big ones, is still going to be on the 1st and the 15th. So for you guys, nothing is changing. But what I'm thinking is it's going to be, so it'll be different days every month. This way I'm not competing with any of the other 30 shows out there. And nothing is going to be direct because it'll probably never or rarely be on the same day. So it's going to be the 1st and the 15th every month, just like the release schedule is now. And, you know, you're just going to have to keep an eye on my socials to be reminded of it. And you'll have to keep an eye on the YouTube watch party list. If you go to Snakes and a Fat Man on YouTube and just subscribe, okay, you'll get notifications every time I'm putting up a live show or every time I put up a pre-recorded show. We're working on something big here called Fat Man Nation, which is going to encompass all the shows. It's going to have merch for all the shows. It's going to have behind the scenes stuff. It's going to have, you know, the makings of those are the plans right now for all the shows that we do here in one place. And that's going to be on fatmannation.com. It's also going to be the name of the YouTube channel. It's also going to be the name of the new Instagram and Facebook pages. It's also going to be the new Patreon. So all of you people who are members of my Patreon, all these cool people right here, I'm going to ask you to do something where I know I'm going to lose some of you. Okay. This is how much this switch over means to me. Starting next month, if you guys could cancel your Snakes and the Fat Man Patreon subscription and just look up Fat Man Nation on Patreon and subscribe to that channel, I would appreciate it. And I know I'm going to lose some of you because of it, but hopefully we're going to gain a bunch of new people too, because we're going to have a bunch of new tiers. And I actually have help doing all the Patreon stuff, or all the new Patreon stuff now coming into it. So hopefully we'll be able to offer a lot more on Patreon. We're going to be doing some cool stuff, and we're going to be doing some stuff that like I could only bring you. Like I'm probably looking at about another 6 months in this wheelchair now. And you know what I'd like to do is take you guys on the journey on the Patreon page of, you know, how the walking is proceeding and everything else. So if you guys could do that, I would appreciate it. Again, don't do it this month, but do it next month. Cancel your Snakes and the Fat Man Patreon subscription and sign up to Fat Man Nation. I will basically shut the Snakes and the Fat Man Patreon down probably around July, just to so that people know to go to the Fat Man Nation Patreon and the Fat Man Nation website as well. I want to start getting mailing lists and kind of putting everything together. I'm gonna collect data. Basically, I want to collect your email addresses so that anytime I have an announcement or we have new merch for sale and everything, the emails that I send out go directly to you, and I don't have to risk you know, hitting some fucking fictitious fucking algorithm that Facebook says is possible, but is usually not, okay, or Instagram. So, guys, thanks for staying. We're gonna continue doing the Fat Man Live stuff. We are not going to be continuing the open Zoom call. I just, I feel like that opened up shit to people that I thought I could trust and then end up fucking me. And we're not going to do that anymore. If we do any open Zoom calls, it'll number one be on a different night. And number two, it'll be an absolute invite only type of thing for just when I want to hang out with my friends. Maybe the Patreon people will do a special Zoom call for them. But I think you could do that on Discord now. So yeah, we're going to have a Fat Man Nation Discord too. So don't forget that. Also, finally, my one black friend and my one white friend. I'm pretty sure that that's going to be at 10 o'clock on Sunday nights, starting in April. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you guys are too. And we're going to have merch for all this shit. I mean, we're going to have merch for Snakes and Fat Man, my one black friend, my one white friend. I got Bronx Down Under shit still available. Where Are They Now? The Leveling Up. We're just going to have merch for everything. Okay. And we're going to see if we could break outside of this reptile community a little bit and bring other people into it. And maybe we'll get these new people into the reptile hobby as well. So that's kind of like the intent of the whole thing. But, listen, I'll probably be better, come April 1st when we first do the live. So, we do the live for the first time. So I'll probably be better. I probably won't be as jaded. Okay. But, last 2 weeks kind of got to me. There's a bunch of shit that happened. I spoke on it on the pop-up live, and now I spoke about the hypocrisy thing. So I had to get it out of my system, right? I had to get it out of the system. And also, I'm not going to be guest on anybody's show for 2024. I'm just kind of taking a break on all that because you invite people in to fuck you. All right, that's all you do. Like I was telling somebody the other night, I don't even have friends. I just have people that haven't fucked me yet. But my friends have always been Donato. My friends have always been Brian. My friends have always been Danny. You guys know who Friends of the Fat Man are. And I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you guys for fucking, hanging out and watching this whole show today. And we will be back in 2 weeks with the first ever, not really the first ever because the 100th episode was live, but the start of the new season of Snakes and the Fat Man. Going to be live on YouTube all the time. Want to engage with the chat people. I mean, that always makes it fun. Right now, I can't engage with any of the chat people. So, listen, a lot of changes happening. I'm looking forward to it. See you in 2 weeks, guys. Bye. Everyone talks their own shit about what kind of racks you should buy. Metal racks are great, but everyone doesn't want a goddamn 7 foot high, 6 foot wide, 2,000 pound metal rack in their fucking house. That's a 2 refrigerator footprint, man. 2 fucking refrigerators. Sea Serpents makes insane quality racks that could fit anywhere. They're stackable PVC racks that are living room friendly, and they're shipped fully assembled with heat tape already installed. Just plug it into a thermostat and you're ready to go. When we had the shop, we had over 20 Sea Serpent racks there before they ever became a sponsor of Snakes and the Fat Man. I don't breed much anymore these days, but I still have a few racks here in my house, and you could be goddamn sure that they're Sea Serpents. Oh, and they also make hotbox incubators, probably the best reptile incubators made in America. At the height of our breeding business, we had 4 4-foot hotbox incubators, and again, I still have a small hotbox incubator here in case anything I keep actually does breed. Go to SeaSerpents.com and check out their incredible selection of PVC racks and tell Chris Nettles that the Fat Man sent you.